We are here today because we are doing the golf posture, and today's topic is about playing 18 holes with a bad back. Three secrets that you need to actually know and be aware of so you can actually uh, get to play without hesitation. So let me just make sure you're in the right spot because it's very important. So if you are over 50 and you like to play golf, and if golf happens to be one of your primary activities or sources to not only stay active but be social, and you happen to have a bad back or history of bad back, this is for you. Okay. The other thing is that it's important that if you are part of this series, if you have been taking lessons or you have training aids and gadgets and you see some improvement, okay, especially not only on your game but also on the way your back feels, but they're very short lived, this is for you. Okay, so you're in the right spot. And here's the kicker: we want to make sure that because of you have a medical history with a bad back, arthritis, or something in that regards, I want you to make sure that while you listen to what I'm going to share with you today, that the goal, the ultimate goal, is to make you a reliable golfer. Okay, so for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Carlos, and I'm the creator of the Flexi Golf program, and it's an online hybrid program out here in the Northwest, Portland, Oregon. And so I primarily day in, day out work out with golfers, with especially with all injuries, bad injuries, coming back from hip surgeries or tendonitis or some sort of medical setback, and they want to get back on the course without any flare-ups or problem. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, make sure you're in the right place. And again, this is part of the golf posture series. We're gonna keep doing this little buckets of series between, your golf posture, your golf downswing, and so on and so forth. So make sure that either follow me here or go to my Instagram and connect with me, and then I can help you through it all. Okay. Now, before I share with you the three secrets, let's get some things out of the way so we're all on the same page. Okay. And there'll be three, maybe five things we want to make sure. Number one is that golf has three different key movements, sorry, three different key movement. And those are the up and down, right? The squat, that's why you see people talking about the ground reaction, okay? So there's an up and down, north to south, if you want to think about it. There's also some level of lateral shift, like when people tell you about the hip bump or the wall drill. So there's that little lateral movement. And the third, and not least, is the rotation. And a lot of golf coaches are talking about hip and shoulder separation. And by the way, now that I mention it, let's be clear that I am not a golf coach. So I'm not here to improve your technique or anything of that sort. I'm just here to help you with not so much your mechanic, but really pin down which part of that medical setback, that all injury, is holding back from you being consistent and, more importantly, reliable. Okay, so that's the first thing that we got out of the way, right? What are the key movement of your golf swing, regardless of your swing style? One play, single play, flat, whichever one. Okay, the second thing that we got to make sure that we're on the same page is that no matter who you are, the brain, the human brain, one of the main functions of it is to keep you safe, which kind of goes in hand when you take a golf lesson and then you go try it by yourself at home or at the range and it doesn't stick, is because your brain doesn't feel safe, doesn't feel okay, doesn't feel all right to actually go through that drill that you went with your golf pro. Okay, so it's one of those, like, the cat is out of the house, so now you're kind of freaking out a little bit, and so you don't want to push it too much so you don't get flare up. Okay, so again, one of the main primary functions your of your brain is to keep you safe. And when you're dealing with all injuries, so you had bad experiences from a certain swing or certain golf coach or whatever the case may be, especially in the bunkers or long par fours, your brain automatically goes into this automatic hesitation protection mode. So you're holding your swing back. And we'll talk about that later on. And so that's the second thing. The third thing I want to share with you, and that we got to be on the same page, is that After the age of 50, trust me, we men, mostly of us, we have a lot of wear and tear. We've been grinding it hard at work. We've been playing sport, football, basketball, track. So there's a wear and tear level in the body. Even if you don't have like major surgeries or are currently dealing with an injury, you have major wear and tear. And to top it off, at least for men, after the age of 48, let's say 50 for lack of better terms, we lose about 30% of lean muscle mass, which that's why a lot of guys that reach out to me, they know it's not their strength. And I agree with them. It's not a strength issue that they cannot generate power. So keep that in mind. 30% after the age of 48 of your lean muscle mass starts declining. Okay. So now that we got those three things, the basic movement of your golf swing, the brain that's primary job is to keep you safe, and that you're losing 30% of your lean muscle mass, and more importantly there's wear and tear in your body. We can be on the same page and just kind of dive in a little deeper on each of these things. Now, speaking of wear and tear, one of the things that we can all share, because we all get beat up our body, is that we all going to have arthritis. So just come to realization that we're all going to have deal with arthritis somewhere on the wrist, on the knee, on the spine, on the neck. Somewhere we're going to deal with arthritis. So with that said, there's a level of the healing process, and I'm talking now as a physiotherapist, healing process that your body needs to go, which if you remember last time you broke a bone, they're going to tell you 8 to 12-week healing. It is a cookie cutter because that's how the body heals. Even if you do red light therapy, if you do peptides, the way your body respond, heal, again, so your brain keeps you safe, is, a very cookie cutter depending on the soft tissue we're talking about. Tendons have a different timeline, ligaments have a different timelines, bones have a different timeline. So when we're putting all those together, we really need to like hone in on what is the bottleneck in your case. Okay, so that brings me to the first thing that we need to discuss. And if you want to keep the conversation here, you can drop comments below, or you can look up me up on Instagram, J Carlos Fitla, and we can connect there. So the first thing that I want you to talk about is that we all have the backpacks. And so when we're talking about the rotational component, there's not so much of a rotational component with your swing, regardless of which swing. It's more of a twisting motion. Okay. Now, with that said, we have a level of twisting. There's seven, I'm going to say it again, 7 primary core muscles that you need to use and have ready for your swing, no matter which type of style of swing that you take. Okay. Now, because of the wear and tear that we already talked about, okay, those swing core muscles might need different levels of attention. Little TLC. Some of them might need more stability, mostly at the joint integrity and the healthy joints. So we might attack it from the outside, like with stability exercise, or from the internal, right? So that's when collagen comes in, peptides come in, less calcium diet comes in, all those things internally. So the integrity of your joint, your shoulder, your spine, your tailbone, your knees is much less. Okay. So that's one thing. So we're talking about the twisting motion more than the rotational component. Okay. So let me look at my notes here real quick. Now, with that said, I already told you guys that men typically they come out to me, they don't need much of a strength component, which is kind of a good thing, because what they need is to break the adaptability that their muscles, their joints have been doing. So most guys, especially over 50, we're set on our ways, right? Like for me personally, I don't like doing chest press. I'm all about, the TRX straps, the kettlebells, the stability balls, the Basu balls. I don't care for bench press. Other guys like the barbell press. Other guys like the machines where you sit on the little long chair and do your chest press. So we all have our little habits that we know into the routine. So, but however, when your body gets used to a level of pattern movement, cable machines, chest fly machine, whatever the case may be, you do not challenge the soft tissue, you don't challenge the joint integrity. So that means that variety is the spice to life. So you need to create a variety so you can create this muscle confusion, as we remember from the late 90s, right? When P90X came out, when CrossFit was on the on the main media streams. So we need to create that muscle confusion so the muscle actually grows and gets stronger. Not so much bulk, but just get stronger. So now we talk about the joint integrity, okay? And now we're talking about the whole breaking the adaptability and be able to take on more variety, which is kind of fun because you will not get bored at the gym or at your home garage or at the range, okay? So that's the first thing that we want to go in that route. Now, the second thing is that there's ways to go about it the good way and the bad way. However, they can be challenging or you can become the challenger for that variety that you come in. For example, a good example, a lot of folks come to me is they have bad backs and their therapists have told them to do planks and core strength and bird dogs and dead bugs and all that. But however, they're just protecting them from doing a plank because the wrist or their shoulder, right? So between the wrist and the shoulder, we have one guy left, which is the elbow. So we adapt the elbow to be the middle guy to create some joint stability here, right? And use your lats, which by the way is one of your swing core muscles out of the seven. That's one. Your lats are one of them. So we can engage the lats, make them involved in the process, right? Adapt through the shoulder blade so you can work your abdominals. So again, you can be the challenger, but at the same time, as you go through the change to create some variety in your program, you want to make it challenging. So there's good and bad. You have to find that happy medium. Now, let me run through the seven core muscles so you can start identifying. You can drop comments or you can reach out on Instagram, whichever one of the swing core muscles are bothering your back, and we can actually sort it out. Everybody's different because everybody has different medical backgrounds on all injuries and they play at different levels. Okay, so here comes with the seven. For sure, your abdominals, right? Your low back, right there. Okay, your lats, your rotator muscles, believe me or not, your oblique muscles, your quads, and I'm just talking generally, I'm not talking VMO or femoris or just kind of generally speaking, your quads, your butt muscles, which a lot of fellows tend to overlook because they don't like doing lunges, they don't like to do bridging, hip thrust, none of that. They're afraid of doing deadlift because of their, brain keeping them safe from hurting them back. Okay, so when we're looking at those seven swing core muscles, we need to figure it out during which part of the swing phase, who is working, who's not working. All of those seven core muscles, swing core muscles, they need to do three things. Either they need to provide the strength so you can create the power, create the stability so you can feel well balanced, secure, with a good foundation, whichever part of the phase you're in, so you can actually go through the movement. Or third, be able to be mobile slash flexible so you can keep that swing wide or you can go high if you want to go. And more importantly, if you're struggling to get the hip through impact, be able to do it without, offsetting or just having a funky, faulty movement causing you to chank and slice, thing top your ball. So now that you know the swing core muscles, right? We talk about the variety and how you don't want to be doing the same thing over and over. You need to change it up. And here's the third and most important thing that you want to be able to be doing. You want to be able to be intentional, not only on the course, but you want to be off the course. Very intentional. And here's the kick, guys. Most of us, we take care of everybody, we protect everybody, we provide for everybody, but we're not doing that to ourselves unless it's like very sprint, very last minute, right? So we need to be able to track and be intentional about that. Follow a set structure. That's what I do with all of my clients. I give them a structure, very simple and stupid, that they can track and be intentional when they do it. Because why? Because the minute it becomes too adaptable or it's not challenging enough, we can move it up a notch. Or if we have a little setback along the way, we can easily pivot and continue moving in the right direction. Okay. So something that we want to be able to do is able to track and pivot. So with that said, everything that we do inside the FlexiGolf program comes with a testing, comes with an assessment, and of course, most importantly, comes with your input. So your body gave us the answer to what needs to happen next. So even though your soft tissue, your ligaments, your muscles, everything has a timeline that we know over the decades, almost centuries of healing, your body knows when it's ready, because otherwise, like I said at the beginning, your brain will keep you safe and will not move forward. All right. So let me recap what we covered. We covered about the basic movement of your golf. We covered about, the whole concept of your brain keeping you safe. We also cover the fact that we all go through wear and tear, and especially guys, we lose about 30% of lean muscle mass. So we need to keep those basic principles that we cannot change that. That's the way things are in mind when we're looking at how can I play 18 holes with my bat back. In that case, we need to look at those seven swing core muscles. And those seven swing core muscles are always working at it. Okay. Now we need to figure it out who needs to be working on strength so you can generate more power, who needs to work more on stability, which we're going to talk about it here next, about stability, so you feel sturdy and have a strong foundation on your golf posture and your setup, right? Uh, and then the other thing was about the testing, the tracking, and be able to pivot in the right direction given whatever your body tell us. All right, so let's go back into the whole stability thing, which is completely different than working on your balance. So when you see guys doing funky stuff on balance boards or, half foam rollers and things like that, they're just working on their balance, they're not working on their stability. Inside the Flexi Golf, we take you through the dynamic bracing, and that is a way for us to create in some anti-rotational exercise. So again, seven core muscles. See if three of them need to work into bracing your core in whatever specific phase, position of your swing you need it. Okay, so sometimes it's your internal oblique, sometimes it's your glutes, sometimes it's your hamstring, your brake system, whichever one. But we need to challenge it inside the program so you can dynamically brace it. And here's the kicker that's going to save your back, allowing you to play 18 holes, is that because it happens dynamically, you don't have to think about it. And because you feel more than think, your brain is out of the equation. And that, my friend, that's how we keep you moving and progressing slow and steady. On the average, inside the Flexi Golf program, part of the keeping things variety is that most folks, they see change, not necessarily progress, not all the time, but a change in their body about every 3 weeks, which is why the program is 12 weeks long. So every 3 weeks, we reassess, we retest, and then we progress. All you have to make sure you do is to track what you do intentionally. If you do that, then I can help you. I can help you, guide you based on what your body share with us inside the program. So that was a quick recap. Now, here's the thing that I want to leave you guys with tonight as part of this is the last one of the golf posture series. So again, reach out to me on Instagram or drop a comment below if you want to have more specifics about it. But you don't want to be the one guy in your group of four, especially if golf is one of your primary outlet for physical activity or social activity. You don't want to be the guy that slows down the pace of play in your group. And the worst part is you don't want to feel not so much embarrassed, but you don't want to feel like you're getting patronized by your golf buddies because they're giving you tips. And even though you know what the hell to do, your body's just not working with it. So that's when you're like, I got it, I got it, I got it. Starts to happen more frequent. And eventually, what happens if you don't take action with these things that I just shared with you guys, you become the person that they do not invite on those weekend golf trips because you just lose your cool. You just, I got it, leave me alone, I figure it out. You know, the game of golf is a golf of whoever misses the less. But just because that's the nature of the game doesn't mean that you need to sit on the back and let your body just age and get stiffer and slower, and eventually you be outside your social circle. This is the time for you to get ownership, to own your body, to rebuild your body, and become a reliable golfer. One that somebody can just call up and step up and join your friends at the tournament for the men's club or for the guest member tournament because your body's ready. All you got to work is on the techniques and skills with your golf coach because your body is ready to take on whatever they give them to you. But it all starts with those three key things: variety, tracking, and of course, you know, the the challenging part of whichever swing core muscle needs to help. All right. Uh, that was all I wanted to share with you guys. Those are the way for you to be able to play 18 holes when you have a bad back. If you have any specifics regarding your specific case, again, drop a comment. Look for me on Instagram, J. Carlos Fitlab on Instagram, and I can help you. We can talk you through it so you can have the right program for you. It's not a workout program, it's a medical fitness performance program. It's all based on your medical history and your old injuries. And we're going to see where you want to go. And we close that gap with the FlexiGolf program. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you for joining. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. All right, ciao. Mm-hmm.